household. Okay, that's a figure, since we go to a Christian school. But for me, it was a little bit different. I came from a family who was more liberal in the biblical sense. And so their ways of seeing Jesus was different. And they had many friends who weren't much of Christians either. So they had people who were saying Jesus was different things. And I've heard 1,000 different things people think Jesus is. Some would call him a holy man, a good man, a wise man, an angel. And I've met a few people, please believe me when I say this, that actually thought Jesus was an alien. I am not kidding. So yes, I've met a lot of different people telling me who Jesus was. But no matter where you look, in whatever religions, Muslim, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Baal, everyone has Jesus somewhere in there, just something different. But my question was, who is he really? And the best place I found to look was the book that was written while he walked the earth. So I remember I came across this scripture, John chapter 11, 25 through 26. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. And so when I read that, he didn't call himself an angel, a prophet of God. He didn't call him anything else. He called himself the way, the truth, and the life, the resurrection. He called him that, nothing else. He himself said that. And even before that, in John chapter 10, verse 30, he says, me and God are one. So he's not just coming to be of God, he's coming to be God himself. And so that's very different than what everyone else says. Because no one in any other religion has ever claimed to be God or the Son of God. And so, just by knowing that, that tells us something completely different than what the world says. And the world's always going to tell you who Jesus really was. But there can only be one truth. There can't be 1,000 truths. There can only be 1,000 lies and one truth. And so the most important thing you'll ever find is that truth. Because the truth will set you free. And there was a quote I read. I was reading an article, I can't remember what it was. But it was saying how important it is to know Jesus. Because, like he said, he is the way, the life, and the resurrection. And so, let's be honest, we have a very short life, maybe 70 years at the most. Am I right? And so, that's not very much time compared to forever. And so, just by getting to know him, we get to know forever, in eternity. And what I read was, a man said this, when the day finally comes where God calls everybody home, everybody, where the earth is emptied out and destroyed, we will all be in heaven facing the judgment of God. And you will see the celebrities you looked up to, those football players, those sports players you idolized, those celebrities you thought you wanted to look like, you will see them there. But then you'll realize that you see fear in their eyes too. Because they too are at the mercy of a holy God. And just one question is going to reign through eternity. And it's the simplest question, it's the most neglected question I've ever seen. Do you know Jesus? And you can look in thousands of places, but all those can't be true about one man. There can only be one. So, by getting to know him, you get so much. And I've really gone off from what I was originally saying, but yeah, getting to know him was the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my life. I didn't have much before this. I grew up in a privileged family, yes, but my family was always arguing about things, and it was just, nothing ever made me happy. But then, at some point, when I heard his name, I thought he was a madman, to be honest. I honestly thought Jesus was a madman. Because it sounded impossible. But just getting to know that guy right there, everything changed. To be honest, there was a time where I wanted to kill myself a lot of days. But because I had nothing to live for. Yes, we died. That was my belief. We lived and we died. Nothing mattered. But then, this guy came to the picture, and he said something to me, here that just really spoke to me more than anything else. He said, am the resurrection and the life. And that was just something weird to me because, what do you mean, life? I thought this was life. When I found out, I realized I didn't have a life until I met him. So, I'm not very good at this, I'm being honest. But, just, even for you guys, the middle schoolers, get to know Jesus while you're still here. Get to know him as much as you can. Because in the end, that's all that really matters. That's all I can really say today.